Hello everyone. It's a couple of days now before the Ludum Light competition this weekend. The subject is fear. Now our team has 3 members, so we're sort of a practice for a jam entry. We went through modding games, particularly Glest, and as preparation, I've been making a little library template to build the game in, called Bare Bones, because it's really just the minimum needed to get an OpenGL context going, um, and it compiles on Windows, Linux, presumably OS X. Haven't tried that, but that should work. And interestingly, Google Chrome. So it's an abstraction that abstracts away. It's got a helper for loading files asynchronously, which will come off the network. You should be able to just take your uh, Google Chrome output and your binary files, like your artwork, and if it's on GitHub, for example, on GitHub Pages, they should just play off GitHub Pages. So browsers just go to that web page, and it shows your C++ OpenGL get in the browser window. That's the idea. It's really because we've been playing around with this, thinking about a new Glest engine that would target Google Chrome as well as the desktop. The code's based around a very simple uh, file that deals with telling you when things have changed, and has helpers for creating programs with nice pretty shader description output, when things go wrong, help you debug. Asynchronous file I/O because it's its own loop, and same with loading textures. It's using soil behind the scenes, and sharing programs. This is the main bit you implement yourself, and there's just general callback handling. Also, very simple, event handling. I don't know that will actually hold up. I've always, in the past, learned to pass around a struct like an SDL event all the way around. That's so easy to delegate to other bits of code instead of having to create all these methods. But this time around, I've made it a bit more simple because this is bare bones, right? What you do in your in this is you just implement game. Let's go a bit bigger. You just have to give it a name. I mean, so you'd clone this from Git, change the name you want in titles and some debug output, and then subclass main and give yourself, where would it be? Here. Just implement the static create method to return your subclass, and do stuff like, in the init you've got an OpenGL context here, so you can actually create all your stuff and start loading stuff, and then you get called tick to draw it in a tight loop. Very simple stuff. In here there's some helpers. There's my XML parser I've written a long time ago. I keep using this because it's a very simple parser. It's not complete. It doesn't do namespaces, but I like it anyway. It's a pull API parser. I kind of like to think I invented pull. I think I was doing a pull API that looks almost exactly like KXML turned up on Java, but I think I was doing it in 2000, a little bit before, and I really like the style. Your code ends up being indented the same as the actual XML you're parsing. It's straightforward, elegant. So okay, I'm using this again. This is great, and I've got a loader here for G3D, which is a bit like MD2 mesh animation format. It's vertex keyframe based animation, so it's not as fancy as Bones and that, but it's also a lot simpler. So the team, it's me as a programmer and a couple of artists, I'll get to in a minute. They know how to build these G3D, so that's why it's in here. So that's the library code. The support framework is a mesh loading format, basic meshes that is, an XML parser, and an event loop. The rest I'll have to build. This game, I'm planning to put this beds on GitHub. Um, happy for other people. I wrap up. There's soil and GLM in here. The fun bit here is the make file. The make file does wing and makel and so on. How it works is just here you just put your extra files. If you wanted another file like shaders.opp, I think I will do that. Okay, now you've got a C++ file shaders.cpp, and it's in, and it gets compiled. And if you want, you can take out these files. I mean, you just don't use them, just take them out. You don't need them. But I'm going to play later with functional sections in GCC, so that it does whole program optimization, chops them out if you don't need them anyway. The build info is just a simple file, gives you a couple of strings. It's good for debugging. Actually makes it so when you start the program, it prints out when it was built and what the Git version is. What's down here? It's very simple, little portable file. It just what it does is it creates, it goes through and puts in a sort of an extension in to all the outputs, so that there's duplicates, so that they can all not step on each other, and it includes them also. They've got proper dependency tracking, so it should work with SDL, including compiling with MingW on Windows, and with Chrome. I will try and get cross-comp working as well. I think this is a fun little thing. Let's go now, look at the graphics people. It's far more exciting. A couple of graphics people from the Glest modding community. First is Adrian Delfer, who goes by the handle Ishmaru, and he's been he's a very good 3D artist, been creating this mod called Annex Conquer the World, and so you get an idea of his kind of graphics. It's going to be beautiful. He's going to be focusing on the unit, the actual main characters, animations, and main bosses and so on. He'll be working on this same time as me. That's this weekend. We might start a bit early and finish a bit early, just because that's the schedule we've got. The second artist, the guy, Mr. War, that's his handle, from Glest again. He's been making other mods. This is an example of his mod. I mean, in Glest, everything doesn't have to look so purple. It's just an art choice. Mr. War's strength is, I mean, the fantastic thing is these kind of pictures, illustrative quality, all done with hatching, because I think he uses a tablet, I'm not sure. I think he's actually scratching it out with a little pen, all made out of little lines, everything is. Real paintbrush type drawing, as well as 3D modelling. He's made the Imperial fractions on Tech-Tree even for Glest. He's made the sci-fi mod. He's made the he's currently working on a Ming and sort of Chinese fraction to go with a Japanese fraction that's already there. That's very good for Glest. So he's making lots of things, and he's just so fast. They're both so fast. I mean, they will be able to make little spiders, creepy crawly spiders and things in 10-15 minutes, and no kidding. I mean, it'll be shockingly fast. The thing we're going to have is too much artwork. So, what is the game? So, the subject is fear. I just talked about who's doing it. We're all 2 artists, 1 coder, and we've had time. We know what subject is. We've had time to think about what the game's going to be, and what we're going to build is